Hey guys, Jason here for TheChartGuys, doing some more tickers for our TCG ticker requests videos. And this is one of the things we do in ChartGuys, both the ChartGuys partners and the members of the community. If you have a question about a ticker, you're about to enter a trade, or you just want some feedback on a potential position, you can ask about a setup and we can give you unbiased technical analysis, rapid fire, and give you an idea of what you might be getting yourself into. So this sort of analysis is what we do and what we love to do. So without further ado, let's take a look at INTC on the 4-hour time frame. So what matters here on the 4-hour time frame is we've broken that 49.48 level. If you've been watching the last few ticker request videos, we've covered INTC a few times. We had a nice hourly uptrend. We changed the hourly trend. Now we've broken over 49.88 and we've peaked above our EMA 26. So this is the point where it really starts to matter for a longer term trend change after this big bear drop that we've seen here. If we can get a 4-hour higher low over 46.97 and then see another resurgence of bull strength, that is going to certainly lead to more long-term bullish sentiment. And by long-term, I mean over the daily time frame, because on the daily time frame, we still more or less just bouncing at this point. We haven't really seen a higher low over that 46.97. We need to see a 4-hour trend change to lock that in. Right now, we only have a higher high. Now we need to see a higher low. So hourly, a trend change for the bulls, a new higher high, locking in a potential 4-hour trend change. Now what we need to do is see if the bears have any sort of momentum here and if they're going to get much further than where they are. We're going to go back to the hourly time frame to see what levels need to be hit for that to happen. But if we do see this hourly trend change go back to the bears, we're going to be looking for something over 46.97, as I said. So let's go back and jump to that hourly and see what these key levels are going to be here. So here's our hourly trend change. Right now we've lost hourly higher lows, but we haven't lost hourly higher highs. All we've done is pull back from 47.93 after setting a 4-hour higher high. So what we're going to look for is a little bit of bull strength, possibly a rejection from this 49.48 level again. We do need to see a little bit of bull strength, and then a lower low underneath our ultimate low, which is the low of today's action, 48.66. That will be an hourly trend change for the bears and lock in that 4-hour higher or lower high, higher low. I'm confused now. It'll lock in this 49.73 level as the key for the 4-hour bulls to retake to get that sweet, sweet daily trend change on the route. So to summarize, because I know I'm going back and forth a little bit here, the hourly trend change that we've been watching has carried enough strength that the 4-hour time frame has had a higher high and is setting up a potential higher low for an overall trend change, which is going to help the longer term daily bulls. We need to see the bulls stay above 48.66. AAL on the daily time frame. Haven't looked at this one for a while, but what we do have is a pretty strong downtrend. We've got a weekly lower highs, and we actually don't have weekly lower lows. 825. That is the level for the bulls to get over top of and stay over top of. They're doing a good job right now with a base of support here on the weekly time frame that seems to be hitting a few bottoms between 1080 and 1098. So if we go to the daily time frame, we're going to ask ourselves, all right, how do we defend this level, and when do we know that we are no longer seeing a lot of daily weakness? Well, you could look at this and say this is a daily high or daily lower high that we need to break, and we broke it. But really, this is just going to be a 4-hour level. I'm interested in bulls getting over 1348 and defending this base of support. So if we really want to get even more fine-tuned, 1071 is the key level for these bulls to hold. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, 4 hours bulls are strong. They're overbought now, so we're going to be looking for a 4-hour higher low over that 1080, and then we're going to see if we can't break that 1377. So this is updated after hours level. A lot of potential here, but bulls still have some work to do. They face a lot of upside. And if we're looking for an entry to get the most out of this trade, what we're going to look for is going to be a hourly pullback, a 4-hour higher low over 1080 in conjunction with that pullback, and then look for a 5-minute or 15-minute trend change for the bulls sometime over the next couple days and see if we can get that 1378 level. DLTR. Now this one is interesting. I don't like to say the F word very often, but my wife and I went to the dollar stores, a few of them over the course of the last week, and they are all empty. Now, I don't know what Dollar Tree is like in your area. We don't have Dollar Tree in Canada, but if your dollar stores are empty, and that's because there's just no stock coming in because of the great pause, there can be some bad quarters. and not a fundamental trader. But if bad earnings are coming in for companies, then we're going to pay more attention to some weakness. So let's get into the technicals here. On Dollar Tree, do we see any weakness yet? No, not really. We see a little bit of equilibrium on the weekly time frame. We have a weekly lower high, and we have an overall daily uptrend. So what we're going to do is pay attention to that uptrend. In the same way we were trading Tesla the other day, we can look for areas of support. We can try and see if we can draw in some trend lines. If they fit, they fit. If they don't, they don't. That's all we care about. We only have 2 touches right now and a little bit of confluence, so we'll keep this one on here for now. Sometimes I like to go ahead and I like to make my lines dashed. That tells me I'm not confident in that. So when I come back to this really quickly, sometime during the day when I don't have time to do a longer term trading plan, I know I'm not going to rely on this dashed line. But on the daily time frame, we have overall daily higher lows. We have overall daily attempted an uptrend, and what we need to see bulls over 99 psychological, and then right above that 100 is going to be another important level for us to hit, and I'm wondering how far off those bulls were. Probably got very close to it in after hours, but a clear zone of resistance right around 100, and we're going to look for the bulls to have issues on that approach, and ultimately we're going to look for a loss of this uptrend and then a loss of our daily higher lows, which would be right at 92.23. So far, no real signs of weakness on the part of the bulls. 4-hour time frame. This big drop here has us looking for a little bit of a pullback. This is already a 4-hour lower high under $99. So what we're going to look for is bulls to maintain this little hourly uptrend into a reversal, into a higher low over 92.23. If they do that in conjunction with that trend line, that's great. If not, then it doesn't really matter. We're going to be watching these hourly levels. Here are our hourly higher lows. As long as we stay above 95, we'll be okay. If we see a lower high underneath 96.09, then we're going to be looking for a bit of a pullback, like so. If we see that pullback, that forms a quasi head and shoulders with a higher high, lower high, lose 95, then we see an execution of that pattern and a loss of our hourly uptrend. If we see that come into play with that trend line, then we've lost that trend line support as well, and we will be all well on our way to establishing 4-hour higher low. If we get that 4-hour higher low, we're still looking for a 4-hour lower high, so we may see a pullback, rejection from a trend line into a loss of 92.23, and this is why it's important to do that top-down approach, because you know at this point why that is significant if it does come. If you're focused only on the short term, you don't really understand the full consequences of those sort of patterns coming together and breaking in conjunction. Now, will this happen before earnings on August 20th? Maybe, maybe not. This will be an interesting one to follow up on, and I hope someone in the community asks about it in a few weeks so we can check back in on it. Anyway, that's it. If you want to learn more about charts and how to combine different time frames and fundamental technical analysis, combining those two things, send me a message, post a comment. Happy to help. Take care, guys.